Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm furious. I'm furious. You wanna know why I'm furious? Well, first of all, my name is Mark Roden. How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. And I'm furious because I was about to not upload today. I was like, I'm not feeling like uploading today. And then I looked at myself in the mirror and I said to myself, do you want a Lamborghini Murcielago, Mark? Yeah, you want a Lamborghini Murcielago. Do people get Lamborghini Murcielagos by not uploading YouTube videos? Yeah, actually a lot of them do, but that's not me, okay? I don't own businesses, so I've got to upload today. So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video, we are going to be going over the good, the bad, and the ugly on the Mazda Miata NC, the third generation of the Mazda Miata. In case you're new here and you don't know how the good, bad, and uglies work, first, I go over everything you need to know about the car, and just basic information about it. Then I get into what the community tends to do with them in terms of modifying them. Then we finally get into the good, bad, and uglies, which we'll talk about when we get there. And at the end of the video, we decide... my computer's not working. I tell you whether or not I think you should buy the car, depending on the current situation that you are in. Okay? Alright, so without further ado, my computer is literally being such a pain in the rectum. My rectum is in pain because of this computer. But without further ado, let's go right into it with the good, the bad, and the ugly on the Mazda Miata NC. Alright, so let's get right into it, but before we do that, I forgot to do a song of the day. Silly old me. So song of the day is called The Way I Are by Timbaland. Okay, it's a classic white girl banger, but it is a white girl banger. And dude, I'm half of that, alright? I'm white. I'm not a girl, but I'm white, so I'm 50%, and I enjoy 50% of the song. It's great. It's an incredible song, so go give it a little listen. But yeah, oh, also, before I want, like I said, I want to lock in this year, man. I actually do. I genuinely want to, like, start making videos, lock it in on YouTube, actually trying again, and making content enjoyable again on the make Mark Roden great again. That's the plans this year. So if I miss, I want to upload every other day. So from now on, if I miss an upload every other day, I want you guys to come to my house and slash each one of my tires. What that means, I only get 4 days to miss this year, because otherwise I'd be stranded. Either way, the Mazda Miata NC, let's get right into it. The years made and the generation. It was made between the years 2005 and 2015, a 10-year runtime, which is not bad for a Miata. And it is the NC, or the third generation of the Miata. As for the trim levels, there is the SV, the Sport, the Touring, and the Sport Touring, but they all come with the same engine, a 2-liter inline-4 making 170 horsepower, as long as you're in America. I do believe in the UK they came with like 1.8-liter inline-4 making less than that, but in America that's what they come with. As for the body styles, it is available as a 2-door convertible and a 2-door hardtop. Yes, there is a hardtop variant from factory, and the best part, it's retractable. Like, it's mechanically retractable, not like manually, which is pretty cool. As for the drivetrains, it is rear-wheel drive only, and as for the transmissions, it is automatic and a manual transmission. Now, as for the price, that's where this thing gets a little bit iffy, because you can find one of these bad mother jammers for literally like $4,000, but it will be an absolute hunk of junk. So I would recommend anywhere from like the $7,000 to $14,000 range. Obviously, the ones that are higher up in price are probably going to be in better condition, and the ones that are closer to the $7,000 mark might have like 150,000 miles on them or something like that. But if you know Miatas, you know 150K isn't the end of the line for those cars. That's still pretty young, not like super young, but pretty young. And then as for the reliability and the gas mileage, these cars are very reliable. Miatas have been reliable since the dawn of time. They will continue to be reliable until time itself ceases to exist. And for the gas mileage, it gets 24 miles per gallon combined, which is not bad at all, don't get me wrong, but I did expect it to be higher. I don't know, I can't be the only one. Like, this is a 2,300-pound car with rear-wheel drive and a 2-liter inline-4. I expected it to be a little bit higher than 24 miles per gallon, maybe closer to 30, but it's still not bad. Alrighty poo, but now into the what the community tends to do with these bad boys when they modify them. First of all, I forgot to mention this earlier, but the song of the day, I just realized this. That guy has some bad grammar. The way I are, that is not English, Timbaland. Just wanted to point that out. It just kind of clicked in my brain. I was like, yeah, wait a minute, that guy's an idiot. Either way, as for the community, what do we do with NC Miatas when we buy them? Well, for the drifting scene, it's definitely not seen very often because the NB and the NA exist, and for those guys, those are just much better options. There's really no point in choosing an NC over one of those cars if you're going to drift it. As for the rally/off-road community, again, it's not really seen too often, but I've seen like 1 or 2 videos out there of NC Miatas doing rally racing, and it actually looks really cool. It doesn't look effective, but it looks cool, so that's great. And then as for the street racing community, the guys that are pretty much just going in a straight line, whenever I say street racing, I mean street racing and drag racing. Yet again, definitely not this car's strong suit. As we all know, Miatas are not the best in a straight line. But as for the track racing community, the circuit boys, definitely this is its most popular application by far, especially when you get into things like autocross in hill climbs and time attack and things like that. Yeah, this car, I mean, there's Miata Cups, and the NC is no different. These cars since the dawn of time, Miatas have been good track cars, and it's no surprise there. And then as for the stance/show community, the guys just build up the cars to make them look cool, and then they just park them in a parking lot with their buddies. This car is seen, but very rarely. People don't really care for the looks of the NC Miatas, and I can honestly see why. I do think they are the weakest looking Miata for sure, but they still look good. It's unfortunate that more people don't like turn these things into nice little show cars. But now we are into the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the way the good, bad, and ugly part works is, first I'm going to go over the good. And those are just kind of selling points on the cars. Good things about the car. Things that like a salesman would have told you in 2005 if you were going to the Mazda dealership. And then we get into the bad, which aren't actually bad things. It's just a fun play on word because of the Clint Eastwood movie there. I believe it's Clint Eastwood at least. I don't know. I never watched the movie. But it's a fun play on words from that movie. And it's just sort of a middle ground. It's an area where it really depends on the type of person you are, if it affects you or not. And I always say that, and people never understand and just get angry anyways whenever I get into the bad, because I think I'm just like trashing their car, and it's actually hilarious. And then we get into the ugly, and those are the actual, like, yeah, okay, those are problems. Like, that's me bad mouthing the car. The ugly parts are problems with the car that you're gonna have to deal with eventually. But without further ado, let's get right into it with the good though. And the first thing for the good is the price. Like I said, $7,000 to 14 grand. 14 grand is definitely higher up there, but like selling like 7 grand in 2025, bro, for a pretty like nicely modern sports car that you're gonna have a lot of fun with is not bad at all. Next is the handling. As we all know, Miatas are incredible little handling monsters. If you like canyon carving and stuff, it's a good option. Next is the community. The Mazda Miata community in general is pretty cool, pretty welcoming and everything. A lot of people like to make fun of them because they are, you know, I don't know how to put it. They're more, I don't know if this word's offensive, so if I say this word and you guys get offended by it, I'm sorry, but they're more flamboyant than other communities, I would say. So people like to make fun of them for that, but that's not a bad thing, man. They're nice people. Like they're very accepting people, and that's a really cool thing to see. It's better than a lot of other communities in the car world. So let's just leave it at that. Next is for the good. They are underrated cars, like I've mentioned plenty of times before. And I do like the NC Miatas, and people act like they're the worst car ever built. Are they one of the weaker Miatas? Probably. I wouldn't argue that. I would definitely say that this is probably the weakest Miata out there, but they're still a good car, man. Like, they're still cool. Next is they do have actually decent cup holders for its size. A lot of people don't really, people think I'm like joking when I talk about the cup holders, and it is kind of funny to bring it up in Good, Bad, and Ugly because it is such a small thing, but people don't understand how necessary cup holders are, bro. Like, even if it's not your daily driver and you're just like taking it out on a Sunday cruise and you go and get like, I don't know, some coffee at a Cars and Coffee, you have nowhere to put that coffee in a car that doesn't have cup holders, and this car does actually have some decent ones, so that's good. Next is the car actually has a surprising amount of cargo space. Obviously that's always pretty good, but yeah, everybody online is saying that they actually can fit a decent amount of stuff in this car, a lot of dead bodies in it, and that's great. Next is they are actually very comfortable to drive compared to the NBs and the NAs. I mean, obviously it's probably going to be the case. It's a more modern car, but yeah, it's more comfortable to drive compared to them. Some people don't really care for that though. I guess that could have gone into bad because some people do like the raw feeling of the NAs and the NBs better, and so I don't really know. I'm going to keep it in the good, but it could have gone in the bad. Next for the good is that it has a 6-speed manual instead of a 5. That's almost inherently just good. I guess for like some instances having only 5-speed is better than 6, but I guarantee almost anybody is going to be like, yeah, I'd rather have a 6-speed. And finally, for the good is it does have a good power increase over the first 2 generations. They were both sitting right around the 130 horsepower mark, and this car has 170. That's a huge jump. 170 horsepower is really good. And the car, while it does weigh more, it doesn't weigh more enough to make that 35 horsepower jump irrelevant. But now let's get into the bad. The naughty even. Ooh, gotta give the car a spanking when we talk about this one. First off, for the bad is the sound. I always put this in the bad at the very beginning because obviously it's 100% personal opinion if you like the sound or not. So here's a clip of an NC Miata making some noise. Next is the looks. Same thing. It's obviously 100% personal opinion. A lot of people out there do not like the looks of the NC Miata. I'm one of those people, like I said. I definitely don't think they look that great. But hey, it's up to you 100%. If you like them, that's great. Next is the aftermarket support. Unfortunately, it's just not as great as something like the NA or the NB is. It's still there. It's a Japanese sports car. Any Japanese sports car is going to have aftermarket support, but it's not like indefinite like things like the NA and the NB are. But in the NA, dude, if you wanted to buy like a new freaking cigarette lighter from that car, you would have like Recaro cigarette lighters, Bride cigarette lighters, freaking Bilstein cigarette lighter. There's going to be every single possible brand out there making a cigarette lighter for an NA Miata. For the NC Miata, it's hard to even find like a turbo for it. So that's the only reason why I'm putting it here. Next is the car is not the best for building power. Yeah, don't think anybody's really surprised about that, but Miatas have never been the best for building power. They don't really need to, though, because of how lightweight they are. Next is the car does not have any straight line speed. Again, not something that I feel like anybody watching this video is going to be surprised when I say it, but yeah, Miatas are not known for their straight line speed, and this is one of them. Next is like I said before, the heaviest Miata of all time. Even the ND is lighter than the NC Miata. That does take away from the beauty of Miatas a little bit, and so I understand why that might be something that draws you away from it. Next is the car is rear-wheel drive only. I like that. I like rear-wheel drive cars, but if you live in a winter area, like me, actually, I live in Connecticut. I'm just unintelligent. That's the reason why I like rear-wheel drive cars, even though I live in Connecticut. But if you live in a winter area, rear-wheel drive might obviously be a bad thing, if you will. Next is the car does not have much cabin space. It does have cargo space, but it's still a pretty small car. So if you're a taller gentleman or woman, you might have some trouble fitting your legs in there. Next is the AC compressor does tend to have some issues. This is just a common problem that I saw on some of the forums. It's not the end of the world, and that's the reason why I'm putting it in the bad. An AC compressor is an AC compressor. I've only had one car in my entire life that had AC, and I'm still here, so that's fine by me. Next is a convertible top also tends to have some issues. Again, this isn't something that like matters really, though. Obviously, it kind of matters if it's like stuck down and it's about to snow or rain or something, then yeah, you're kind of screwed. But if you can always just kind of force it back up anyways, and then at that point you would just have to keep it up. And is that annoying? Yeah, but dude, the vast majority of us drive cars with roofs on them, so I think you'll be okay. And finally, for the bad, is the car's fuel system can get clogged pretty easily as well. Another problem where it seems scarier than it is at first. It's like, yeah, obviously if a fuel system's clogged, that's a problem, and you're gonna have to fix it. You can't drive the car if you can't get fuel to the engine. But it's not something that's like your engine blew up, it's gonna cost you $2,000 to replace it. It's gonna be relatively simple. So that's why I put it in the bad. But now we're into the ugly. The freaking Steve Buscemi. I like Steve Buscemi. He's a great actor, but he is an ugly fella. Of the Mazda Miata NC. And literally the only problem I can think of with this car, after looking it all up, looking at all the forums, everybody's complaints about the car, the only problem I can think of is that the car does have a lot of differential problems. These cars pretty much have glass diffs. That's obviously a pretty big deal if it breaks. It's the entire rear end. It's how your car drives. So without a diff, your car is not moving. And because these cars have such glass differentials, it's almost a must upgrade style part if you want to do any form of motorsports with this car, which is, again, it's something that like people usually do anyways. They usually, you know, weld the diffs, they modify them in some way, but they usually don't replace it altogether. They usually just, like I said, they just weld it, or like maybe they'll put like an LSD in there or something, but it's like having to replace it just if you want to do any sort of like racing or anything is a little unfortunate for a car that's like, it's a Miata, man. This thing was bred to be on a racetrack, and its diff is just gonna blow up. Like, come on, man. But my final thoughts: do I think that you, my friend, should buy an NC Miata based on the current situation that you are in? Well, if you're a guy that's looking for just a regular old daily driver, just a Joe Schmo trying to go from point A to point B, you don't care how cool your car is, you just want to get somewhere reliably and comfortably, I can see why you would choose this, I guess, but I would still highly recommend something else, like a Camry or a Civic, Corolla, or even like a modern crossover SUV style thing is going to be the choice for you. This is still a two-door sports car, you know, at the end of the day. As for the car guys looking for daily drivers, again, this is different than regular people looking for daily drivers. Us car guys say that we're just looking for a daily, but we always end up choosing something that is a little bit more fun than the regular car. I definitely think it's a better option for you than the guys looking for just a daily driver, but still not incredible. It's just really due to its size. Like, if this car was larger with like 4 doors, more space and stuff like that, yeah, obviously I would say it's probably a really good, because these are really reliable cars and they're pretty good on gas and everything like that. But obviously having a 2-door car is not the best option for a daily driver, so that's the reason why it's still not up there. As for the people looking for a Sunday cruiser, however, somebody that's just going to take it out once a week, keep it nice and clean, take good care of it, and then maybe sell it in 10 or 20 years or whatever, I could see this as well if you just want to keep it clean. But it's definitely not the best yet again. I don't think these cars have reached their absolute down point. I think they're going to lose value a little bit more. I think there's going to be a time where these cars might, you know, drop to the 5K, even for $3,000 mark, and be easy to find there. And so I don't know if it's definitely the best decision for like an investment style vehicle. As for the race car or project car folks, so the guys are just going to build something up to have some fun with it, for sure, please make more of these into little track monsters. They're not even that heavy. Like, people complain about the weight of them because they are heavier than the NBs and the NAs and the NDs. They are the heaviest Miata, and so people complain about that, and they're always like, oh, it's not a true Miata, it's too heavy. bro, just do some quick little weight reduction, all right? Take the passenger seat out. Take the spare tire out. Take all the carpets and carpeting and all that stuff out of the car. Maybe put some carbon fiber pieces on. Like, it's still a Miata that weighs, it's like, yes, it's a little bit heavier than Miatas, but it's a lot lighter than a lot of other cars still. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a lot lighter than Civic SIs. It's still a lot lighter than Zs, Nissan Zs, or GTRs. Like, it's still a lightweight car compared to the other cars that you'll see on the track. And I don't see enough of these, I feel like. I just feel like it'd be really cool to see some more NC Miata track mobiles. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video on the good, the bad, and the ugly on the Mazda Miata NC. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos I'd like to see in the comment section down below. And my glasses are all fogged up. Look at that, guys. You see that? My glasses are all fogged up. You want to know why? My dog licked them. And I didn't even realize they were going to be like fogged out. I was like looking at it. I was like, why is my left, during the entire recording there, I was literally going like this all the time. Because I thought there was like a, you know, sometimes you get like a little blurry in your eye and you're kind of like, what's going on there? And you're trying to like get it off. I was trying to do that because I thought it was me, but it was my glasses, man. It's frustrating me, driving me insane. But also, yeah, like I said in the intro, man, I'm locking in this freaking year. All right, I'm locking in. This year, I refuse. I was literally sitting here, dude, just playing Rainbow Six Siege. A new season came out. I was all excited to play the new season. I was like, oh yeah, let's play some new Rainbow Six Siege. I was sitting there playing it, and I was like, oh, I have to upload today. That's right. I'll just upload tomorrow. And then I sat there after that Siege game ended, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I walked upstairs, went to the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and I was like, what is wrong with you, Mark? You know, everybody's out there. Everybody out there is always like, I want more money. That's what everybody out there is the same. Like, we're different. We're different in a lot of ways, and we should embrace our difference. But the one thing that we're all the exact same about is that we all want more money. Almost every one of us, even the rich, want more money. Okay, it's just that's how the world works. We all want more money. And then it's like I was sitting there, I was looking at myself in the mirror. I'm not trying to be like an inspirational YouTuber. Like, guys, like this video. I'm in a dimly lit room. I have the RGB lights going on in the background, and I'm gonna give you some inspirational advice. Here's me working out, by the way. I'm doing pull-ups. Does this inspiration? And I'm not that type of guy. You guys know that. But like, I feel like we got no one to blame but ourselves. Is what I'm trying to get at, man. I was sitting there freaking looking in the mirror, and I was like, you're literally about to go and play Rainbow Six Siege because you want to play it and get what you got to get done, you know? And it's like, it's not even, I don't even have a bad job. I get to talk to a camera. I get to talk to a camera all day about cars. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. Like, what's wrong with me, man? So I'm done. You guys got to put me in line, spank me a little bit, slap me around a little bit. Come when I'm sleeping tonight, and I'm like, I sleep in late all the time. Always happens. So from now on tomorrow, when I'm like sleeping at 10 a.m., I want you guys to come to my house and pour a boiling water on my face. Give me 3rd-degree burns. Make me look like Two-Face from, I don't know, Batman or Spider-Man, whatever movie he's from. I'm not a superhero kind of guy. But do it, all right? Not really. Don't actually do that. If you show up to my house, I'll call the police. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.